what are you trying to do? Are you trying to
Mhm.
make fucking like a chili? Like, let's not work on that. Let's not do a chili right now.
Yeah, especially weight loss, fat loss, it's the simpler the better. I agree. Single ingredient meals, things that are just really easy for you to throw onto a scale and get the data and move on with your day.
At least in the beginning, at least in
Mhm.
the beginning. And that's why people get so frustrated with tracking when they first start is because they try to do those things. They haven't graduated from kindergarten yet.
Welcome to Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt, the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast.
Are you ready to cut the crap with your diet and exercise, get strong as fuck, and build a healthy relationship with food? Then you've come to the right place.
Let's go. If you'd like to support us in the podcast, join our Patreon where you get exclusive content, which consists of monthly workouts you can do at home or at the gym, monthly challenges that are either strength, habit, or mindset based, and access to over 100 plus low-calorie, high-protein, family-friendly meals. These are all designed by a professional chef who is certified in nutrition. These recipes are already in MyFitnessPal for easy fucking tracking. New recipes are also added each week.
We believe that fitness is for everyone, so this is our way of getting you started on your health and fitness journey at a price most everyone can afford. So what the fuck are you waiting for? We'll see you in the Patreon.
Nerdle alert!
Turtle alert. What
How
up?
are you? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday and happy Global
All right.
Running Day.
Oh, is it? Nice.
Yes, yes,
Guess
it's Global
guess
Running Day.
what? Nerdle. I've been running a little bit.
You have?
I
Let's
have. Well,
go.
guess what? Cardio has been added to my program. And
Okay.
so she has me choose like whatever I want at the end of like some of my workouts. It's like, okay, 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off type thing. So I've just been doing like 2 minutes of walking and then 2 minutes of running. And today I did some sprinting at the gym for my last like little cardio thing was like 45 seconds on, 45 seconds off
Some
type
interval.
thing.
Nice.
Yeah. And so I have been liking it. I'm like, ooh, but I obviously can't do too much of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah, with you being
right
in
now,
your calorie deficit right
yeah,
now,
it's basically like what I'm doing is like 10 minutes at the end of my
for
workout.
sure. For
And my
sure.
workouts right now are kind of like a mix of strength and cardio. It's like circuit. I don't want to say hit, but I'm having she calls this like a deload week, systemic
Uh-huh.
training. Two
Okay.
weeks of like taking some time off from lifting heavy, getting some cardiovascular stuff in.
Nice.
Yeah, and I have been really liking it. But my program obviously was is going to change soon. So
Yeah. Well, good. And
it was a nice deload.
brushing up on your cardio, dude. Like, change the subject. You're flexing on me right now. Like your arms are looking fucking nice.
I What's crazy is I didn't know whether to be like happy or frightened this morning when I saw the scale because it's the lowest I've seen it in like 2 years.
Okay.
It's dropped. I've lost like 2 pounds this week.
You had a little whoosh
It's
going on, huh?
I did. That's what Kelly said. She's like, it's your bodies are fucking weird, man. She's like, what's crazy is like your weight just holds on, right? It holds on tight. And she's like, and out of nowhere, you have this massive fucking you
Whoosh.
know, yeah.
I love the whoosh
So
effect.
yep.
That's awesome.
So
Well,
I'm
it's
just going with it.
yeah, embrace it for sure. Some of my clients have been having some of those whooshes lately, and so they're like,
Mhm.
"I don't want to jinx myself, I'm
Right.
hitting, I've hit a new low." But then they get a second, a third way in, and it stays leveled off, and it's like, okay, cool, maybe now we have found our new norm. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Wild.
I'm pumped for you that you're getting some cardio in, or well, you've already been always been getting your cardio, but doing some
But,
running
walking is not enough cardio for me,
for you,
right?
right?
Yeah, so I haven't been getting my cardio in really,
Yeah,
when you think
okay,
about it, because I
fair.
haven't been really doing anything other than walking recently,
And
other
for you and
until
I at
now.
this level of our fitness, walking is really for maintenance and for getting our steps, overall
Yes,
well-being, but it's not
exactly.
exactly like exercise, right?
Yeah.
For us.
Right, right. Because 'cause we're more advanced,
Yes.
right? Like,
Right.
my cardiovascular is a lot higher, and so I need to actually get my heart pumping more than what I could do for walking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I noticed how actually I'm like, "Wow, I really need to keep up with the cardio," because the first day of the new programming last week,
Uh-huh.
I was like, "I'm gonna fucking die." I'm like, "Oh my god, I've only been on the fucking elliptical for, like, less than a minute," and it was, like, hyperventilating.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
Cardio
"You
is
know what?"
cardio.
I'm like, "Beth, you need to." And then also, like, your body adapts very quickly. And
Uh-huh.
so by this week, I'm like, "Do, do, do," like, back to my, like, where it was before kinda thing
Cool.
almost.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you're doing like some interval work with that because that can
Yeah.
be a really solid fat loss strategy, and that's exactly I'm sure why
Yeah.
Coach Kelly's doing that for you. I know
I mean,
when I worked with my macro coach many years ago, that was one thing that he's like, you're never gonna have to do cardio until we need to, right?
right.
And that's when he added, and we simply started with doing 5 minutes of high intensity intervals at the end of my workout, doing like battle ropes or
Hmm.
fucking assault bike work, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, like you kind of
Sounds
just
like what I'm
described.
doing.
So yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. And the reason for that is it's really efficient, right? You're getting up into that zone 4, zone 5 work and
Hmm.
burning a lot of calories in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
And it's very intense what you're doing. So you can't continue to do it for a long period of time either.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But I'm loving
Oh
it.
yeah.
I do.
That's
So
dope. Well, maybe I don't know what your future plans are after your cut, but maybe you get to
I'm
run.
thinking I want, you know what? I was thinking about my next goal, and I think I want to get back into running after my cut, to be honest.
Let's go,
Because
team turtle running.
just getting in the fever right now, because when you stop, it's so hard to get into because you're like, oh my God, it's hard. You have to build up that endurance again.
Hmm.
But I'm like, just the 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, like just keep doing that. It gets easier each time, and I'm just I'm liking it, right?
Yes,
So I'm
that is so
excited
important.
to like possibly, have that goal next year or
I
at the end
love
of
it.
this year. Yeah.
Hmm. Very cool. That's dope.
Hmm. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Very
And
actually.
and cardio is one of those things too. Like when you stop doing it, it's hard at first again. And I can certainly
Yeah.
attest to this. I mean, after my
Yeah.
last half marathon, just a little over a month ago, I took a couple of weeks off of running, and those first couple of runs back were so hard.
Right. You're like,
Um,
holy shit.
yeah, like are you sure I just ran a half marathon in 1 hour 55? Like what the fuck?
Move it or lose it.
Because my pace was like 11 minutes, for those first couple
Yeah.
of runs. So yeah, awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
So you hit a new low on the scale. So your cut's
New
coming along pretty
low.
nicely.
Yeah. And consistency, right? Like I have been straight up so consistent. I don't have time not to be consistent. And it's pretty fucking awesome because action results motivation. It really helps. It really works that way. And it works
Motivation
that
is the
way
key
with a
word.
lot of things, business, everything.
Hmm.
It's like you can't go wrong by consistently taking action because
Yeah,
you're going to see results.
exactly. If you control your actions, control the controllables, right?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
one thing I've been talking with a lot of clients about lately is they're seeing great results recently because they're getting dialed in, and so they're seeing these new lows on the scale,
Yep.
and it's like, yeah, like you did this, you earned this because you controlled what you were able to control even when life was fucking hectic and chaotic around you, and now you're
Hmm.
being consistent and you're seeing the results, the fruits of your labor.
Yep.
And that's now they're getting motivated, right? Now
Hmm.
the motivation is coming because now they're seeing the results that they want to see. But that's what people get wrong too. So often it's like the motivation to get started, to motivation to lose weight, motivation to go running, to
Oh
whatever it
my
might fucking
God.
be.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. You can't keep waiting for motivation. It's honestly like, it's like a fucking fart in the wind.
Yeah.
you
Uh-huh.
know,
Uh-huh.
it's fleeting. We can't rely on it.
It's an emotion. It's a feeling. It comes and goes.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. I
Exactly.
always feel motivated after going on a run. I almost never feel motivated to go on
No.
my run.
No. But when we're done, we can conquer the world.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I'm
You're like
saying?
you're like, "I can do fucking hard things. I did that thing that just sucked."
Yeah.
Mhm.
And honestly, like I feel like I have more energy that I'm doing more cardio, which is kind of bizarre because my energy was tanked like a couple weeks ago, but it's like coming back.
Mhm. Well, you're getting some good endorphins going, those
Uh-huh.
feel good chemicals, things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yep.
we just did a cardio discussion yesterday in our group call
Did
for
you?
our Fit Fat Strong clients. Yeah, just like cardio simplified, and we just explained like some running terminology terms and things like that. Yeah, a lot of people have the running bug, cardio bug for sure.
Yeah, because
That's
it's the season.
It's the season, summertime. People
Nice
wanna get dialed
weather.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're going outside, time to get dialed into your goals. Cardio is part of those goals, whether it's weight loss or just overall health.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't like to hear is like, "Oh, well, I wanna lose weight," right? So, is cardio still important? It's like, yeah,
Hmm.
cardio is still important, yeah, if you wanna be healthy, right?
Right.
Nutrition for sure is the driver of weight
Yeah.
loss, fat loss, but we should be doing cardio still for our heart
Hmm.
health to
I think we
feel
need to
good.
go into exercise with a different mindset. You're not going to exercise to lose fat. You're going to exercise because you want to improve your cardiovascular health, your endurance, your muscle mass, your
Mhm.
health, right? And and leave the fat loss separate. And so many people try to combine the both, or, overuse the exercise as the main source of like fat loss, and they're spinning their wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Just from like posts today of people adding calories back.
Like from
to
their cardio that they're doing, or just from their
Well,
exercise.
the Lose It or MyFitnessPal will add, if they have their watch synced,
Yeah.
it'll add the calories they supposedly burned.
Red flag.
I didn't realize how many people do that.
It is pretty prevalent, isn't it? And I think part of the
Yeah.
reason for that is because, if I'm not mistaken, Lose It, that's locked behind a pay upgrade, and I think with MyFitnessPal you have to pay to turn that off too, if I'm not mistaken.
Like,
So
why
then,
did that? Like, that's completely misleading.
yeah.
And
Well, then
it's,
you have a lifelong customer.
I was going to say, yeah, interesting,
Because-
huh?
And then the alternative then is to just not sync your activity tracker up with your food log. And honestly, like there's no
Don't
real
do it. There's no reason
for your
to.
fitness tracker to be logged up with your fucking food tracker anyway.
No, like
We're just
it
disconnected.
reminds me of like your dog, like taking your dog for a walk, and they come home and they get biscuits. At least mine does. It's like you're not
You're
a
a good
fucking
dog.
dog. Like you don't have to
You're not a
reward
dog.
yourself for food, right? Because you exercise. That's not how this shit works. Like we don't run for donuts. You can
Mhm.
have a donut after you run, but you're not running to eat that donut.
Yes, and you're not running to burn it
That
off.
fucking saying drives me nuts.
Yes, I agree. And we've been there, right? I know I've been there when I
Oh,
first started my weight
oh.
loss journey.
When I first started running, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna eat a fucking this and that after. I had the complete fucked up mindset.
Now, don't get me wrong. One of my favorite things about running is the amount of food that I can eat. I love going to Pound Town after a good hour and a half long run.
Oh yeah, or
But
hiking.
I'm doing that
Yeah.
to fuel my body, not because I just, now, I exercised, I ran, I burned 1,000 calories. Now I can eat. No, it's like I need to
Right.
replenish everything that I just depleted my body. of.
Yeah, because you're replenishing your your glycogen storage.
Yeah, exactly.
So you need to have
Exactly.
those carbohydrates.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Talking about cardio, I know you just started a big challenge. For our Fit Fat Strong
Yes.
clients, we're also doing monthly mini challenges inside the program. And I think you do
Ooh,
something
yep.
like that as well.
We do like monthly week challenges. So kind of
Okay.
it's like a mini challenge.
Yeah. So we're doing that this month. The theme of our summer is Dialed In to Win. And
Ooh, I like that.
so, yeah, thanks. It's fun.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's fucking eye-opening for our clients already, But
Yeah.
the theme for this month for the mini challenge is cardio. So we just earn points, 2 points every time we're doing a cardio activity inside
Nice.
of our app. And it's a leaderboard, so it's a little friendly competition and things like that.
Yeah.
It's
It's fun to
walking,
gamify
running,
that shit,
hiking.
right?
Yeah, gamifying your fitness. Yes. Then you get like that little reward and that dopamine hit
Yeah.
that's doing something good for you rather than getting a dopamine hit for, doom scrolling or eating a donut afterwards, right? Something like that. So
Yeah,
building up those
exactly.
healthy habits. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and I think running for weight loss too, where people get it wrong is because
Ooh.
when people start running to lose weight, it works right away, right? You see usually weight drop almost instant, like within a couple of days, but then it levels off very, very quickly too, right?
Mhm.
Because it's not actually a very effective tool for weight loss for many
No.
reasons. One of the main reasons is because of your increased hunger that's going to
I was
come
gonna
with
say you get
doing
pretty
cardio
hungry.
and running and things like that. Your
Mhm.
body's going to auto regulate and catch up really quickly.
Yeah, and you don't want to be in a calorie deficit. Well, you're focusing on like a race, like a half marathon, I should say, a marathon. Like so many people come to us, they're like, I want to lose fat and I want to train for a half marathon. Well, no, you pick one or the other,
Mm-hmm.
because something's going to suffer, and it's most likely going to be your training because you're not fueling properly for what you're doing.
Right, because if you're in a calorie deficit, you don't have enough energy to maintain your body as it is, and now you're doing this hard thing like running for hours on.
Can you imagine if I was training for marathon right now at the same time as doing this? I mean, that's fucking
God, no.
crazy.
God no, dude, you would be miserable. You would be so miserable.
I would be
You'd
fucking
be
half
bonking
dead.
on your runs. Your runs wouldn't
Oh,
even be
this is-
good quality. You'd be frustrated because your runs suck.
Oh, it would
You'd
be
be
awful.
frustrated because your energy levels suck throughout the day all the time.
But I'm pretty sure I have been in fat loss phases during half marathon training, though.
Sure. And that's not to say like there's no place for it. I got some clients that are training for larger, like a marathon in the fall time. So right now
Mhm.
is when we're doing like fat loss phase.
Yeah.
When we're in like their base building phase, we're not in the intentional prep
Makes
yet
sense.
for marathon training. Because once it's time to get into marathon training, then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, no, you are not gonna
Mileage
be in
is
calorie
low.
deficit anymore. Right.
I mean, 5K training with a deficit is a lot different than half marathon or
is.
marathon training. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially like those runs, if you're running for an hour or less or something like that, right? You're probably
Yeah.
gonna be you can get away with that for
You're
sure.
okay.
Yeah.
As long as you're in a moderate deficit.
Yes. That's not to
Yep.
discourage people, but like, so like you said, separate the two.
Yeah.
Separate the two. It's okay to
Ask,
have these goals, but go about them the right way for the right
yeah.
reason.
I mean, ask yourself if it actually makes sense to have those two kind of opposing goals at one time.
Running requires you to fuel your body and eat a
Right.
lot of food, a lot of carbs and things like that. Where fat loss, I mean, you want to eat as much as possible too with
Right.
fat loss, but you also need to control how many calories you are eating. So,
Yeah. You want to put yourself in a good position for fat loss. You don't want to make it harder than it already is.
what's up, you nerdles? You may have heard Beth and myself talk about the new Flow gummies from Cured Nutrition. I mean, how can you not? I won't shut the hell up about them. And honestly, we are just really enjoying them. And I've personally been enjoying Flow as a pre-workout pick-me-up to help me get dialed in and crush my running and strength training workouts. I'd say it's been pretty helpful as I just set PRs in both my half marathon and 5K in recent weeks. Now, you may think I'm crazy by what I'm about to say, but I've actually been experimenting with reducing my coffee intake to start the day. I know, who the hell am I, right? I've been starting my mornings with intention. Paced breathing, stretching, and my Serenity gummies have actually been setting me up to crush my day, and then I top it off with Flow gummies right before my workout. And this is why I wanted to let you know about a special offer from Cured Nutrition. Right now, you can set up a subscription to any Cured product and save 20% off. And it gets better. All bundles are also 10% off, such as my favorite, the Harmony Bundle, which consists of, you guessed it, Serenity and Flow gummies. So not only are you receiving insane savings by bundling and subscribing to their most popular products, you can stack even more savings on top of that with our code CTC. So when it's time for you to unwind and enjoy life, Flow and Serenity helps you stay energized and fully present no matter what you are doing. So if that's chasing your kids around, running errands, headed out for a hike, or just going out with friends, Flow and Serenity gives you the stamina, energy, and focus to keep up without crashing. Sound good to you? Go ahead and check it out. You can visit curednutrition.com/CTC and use our code CTC at checkout. That's CURED nutrition.com/CTC and just enter our code CTC at checkout to lock in incredible savings. You said it well. For everybody that's been listening, I mean, you've been crushing your fat loss phase. So
I'm fucking
now
proud of myself, man. This is hard as fuck. I cannot believe
y'all are
like
getting
I'm
into
like
like crunch time now.
literally zone. Yeah, it is crunch time. I think we have 12 weeks. But since I've been doing so good,
Oh,
I will have more breaks.
okay. Okay, because you're brutally consistent. So that
Because
gives
I'm
you that
so consistent. Like
flexibility.
I'm making progress fairly quickly right now. I have probably about 8 pounds left.
Okay. So
I
if
mean,
you weren't being consistent, then there would be no reason for you to take a break
there would be no breaks. Beth would
because
be straight fucking, yeah,
your breaks are the times when you're not being consistent. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yep.
I think that's where a lot of people go wrong with fat loss too. Like when they're in these extended fat loss and weight loss phases, they're like, "Oh, I'm
Mhm.
doing everything right. I've been doing it for a year." It's like you've been doing it for a year and you're frustrated and you're not seeing the results. You're not doing something right. Something is missing here, and you're not
Yeah.
being consistent somewhere with your nutrition, most
Sure.
likely.
Right. A lot of weekends, a lot of out dinners out. That
Yeah,
shit adds up.
it does. I know that you just challenged your guys' clients a couple weeks ago to like the no takeout challenge or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
no, like every meal had to be made at home for 5 days.
I
Like
love that.
absolutely nothing out.
What were some of
Takeout,
your
drive through, whatever.
clients' takeaways on that one? Was it eye opening for them?
Yeah, I think we read some of them last
We
week on the
did.
podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. Yeah.
Yep.
Same thing that we're doing right now with a lot of my clients is just getting brutally consistent and honest with ourselves about what we're doing with our food intake. And I sent an email out to everybody the other day challenging them this week to track in some sort, right? And that's not tracking calories necessarily, but if you are tracking calories, let's be 100% tracking this week. Or
Yep.
let's find something else that we're going to track. Maybe we're tracking our food and our mood because not all of my clients track, and I'm sure it's the same way for your clients as
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
Track calories, but we should be tracking something.
Right.
And those weekends are killer. So once we get those weekends, especially now with summertime being here, our kids are at home.
Mhm.
We work with a lot of teachers. I'm sure you guys do too. They're out of their normal routines.
Yep.
So it could be a free for all when we're out of that normal routine.
Right.
And those little bites, licks, and tastes that we love to talk about. And I
Mhm.
challenged my clients, like, I don't care if it's 3 Skittles when you're passing by Susan's desk.
Write it down.
Fucking track it, log it.
Let's go.
Yes. Already a week into it, right? And we start seeing right away the results in terms of how they're feeling, or we see
Yeah.
a nice whoosh or something like that. And it's like, wow, I didn't realize like I was overeating by 300 or 400 calories a day, right?
It's really, really easy to do.
It is.
Even for us, you guys. Like, I have to catch myself consistently and consistently be aware and mindful of what I'm doing. I mean, I cook my son food and he's literally wants peanut butter all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I'm always like this close to fucking licking the rest of that spoon every day. And it's so hard. I'm like, okay. But that's what I would have done before. I would have, but not now. So it's like, that shit really does add up.
It does. It does.
And when you have that challenge of, before write everything down, that actually makes you think.
It does.
And you're like, oh, okay, I do have to write this down. I'm going to put that back.
It's that pause, kind of like we were talking
Yeah.
about with Renee a couple of weeks ago. You're just creating a barrier essentially and giving yourself a couple of fucking seconds to think and take
Yes.
yourself off of that autopilot.
Right. The
Question.
autopilot.
Do I really need these 3 Skittles? What is that going to help me do? What is that going to do for me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
100%.
Fucking BLTs. Someone was telling me about this show in England, European show called, I think I posted a video, like a clip from it, where they do these evaluations of people who say, I'm only eating this much. And
Okay.
come to find out they're like doing these tests or whatever you want to call it. It's like almost like a documentary thing, like following them around, and they're actually like over consuming by, I think this woman like reported that she ate 1,200 calories, but it turns out she ate 3,000 calories. So
Oh my
what they
God, yeah.
did, they gave her some kind of a water that actually measures the amount of calories you take in and the amount of calories that go out. God damn, I wish I can find the name of this fucking show.
That I love the sound of that show. I don't know what it is, but this reminds me, while you're looking that up, Nerdle, this reminded me of a study. It's an older study, but there was a study that was published in 1992,
Okay.
found that obese individuals who reported eating less than 1,200 calories per day significantly underestimated their actual food intake by an average of 47% plus or minus 16%.
Wow.
And they overestimated their physical activity by 51%. So not only
Wow.
are we underestimating how many calories we're burning by 50 fucking percent, we're overestimating how many calories we're burning by 50%. That is a recipe for, oh my God, I'm eating 1,200 calories, but I'm not seeing progress. I'm doing everything right, but I'm not seeing progress. A lot of that is because, especially with the physical activities, because we're relying on things like our fitness trackers. Those are so shit for calories burned. They are not accurate
so
at
shit.
all. I can't remember the exact numbers, but there was a study done from Stanford a few years back on various different activity trackers, and they were like anywhere from 17 all the way up to 93% inaccurate. That is a wide fucking discrepancy.
Yeah. Huge.
I'm sorry, but you're not burning fucking 500 calories doing 45 minutes of strength training.
No.
Or whatever the fuck their watch is telling you.
Right. That's insane.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Did you find the
Yeah, it's called Secret Eaters. A lot of people are saying, the whole thing is that they're not eating enough, right? And that's why they can't lose fat.
Starvation mode, bro.
But I want to get into the series because apparently it's really, really good.
What is it on?
It's on. You can find it on YouTube. Secret Eaters season 1, full episodes. I think it's from 2019, actually. But it's pretty like. The clip that I saw was absolutely incredible because I love the science behind it and how they had like doctors there, and she's like, so I am eating more than I think. She's like, yeah, that's what the data is showing us currently. And so it's bites, licks, and tastes.
Those things that because it's either we're doing it and we're not realizing it because we're just on that autopilot, and that's why it's so important to create a barrier, that pause in some way, by logging it or just checking in with yourself. Hey, do I actually fucking want this? How do I want to feel after eating this?
Yeah,
it's
and people get so mad at us. I know this woman just unfollowed me today because of my video saying that the only way you can lose fat is being in a calorie deficit. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And she just went through this whole thing, and I was asking her questions and being really nice because she's like, I'm doing all this stuff and I'm not losing fat. The typical, I'm doing everything.
Oh, we've
and
heard
then
it
of course she unfollows me. And then she was like, you're so unsensitive and all this stuff. Men and women lose fat differently. And she's like, I listen to Dr. Mary Claire Haver. And I said,
There it is.
I do intermittent fasting. And I said, you know what? Hear me out. I said, men and women lose fat the same. Okay. There's no fucking difference. Your menopausal experience will be different. Like for every woman has a different menopausal experience, but we all lose fat the same way.
By
That is
being in
just a
calorie deficit.
fact.
That's how the human body works.
Facts don't give a fuck about your feelings. I'm sorry if you feel that I am whatever, unsensitive, but this is the truth. And she unfollows me, of course.
Because she needs to hear it. These people need to hear these things.
What the fuck?
And
You
so
know, I'm
we're
not
the
like
shooting
lying
messenger.
to you. I'm
Right.
trying to make you feel empowered. And so I asked her all these questions like, are you weighing and measuring food in grams and food scale? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Like asking her these questions. And
Sure.
she comes back fucking rudeness.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you don't want to look into what you're doing or may not be doing and you're fucking bitching at me, like, I don't have time for that. Like, you just want to have this, like, nothing's working, but you're not going to listen or answer any questions.
It's a victim complex.
You know?
Yeah. Whereas
Okay, then keep
influencers
spinning your wheels.
Yeah.
She's like, and I'm doing intermittent fasting. I was like,
Of course.
okay.
Yeah.
Intermittent fasting, probably binging at night.
Right. And then if that woman does lose weight with intermittent fasting, it's not going to be the calorie deficit that intermittent fasting put her into. The intermittent fasting will get the credit, right?
Mhm.
That's
But
one thing.
She can't lose fat is the thing right now, though.
Yeah, got it. Even with intermittent fasting?
Correct.
Yeah. Something is very, very like she's doing something very, very wrong.
Something.
Not
She
being
doesn't
honest in
wanna.
some way.
Yep.
And that is honestly right, Beth, is why tracking, some kind of tracking is so fucking important to raising awareness. And it can
Yeah.
really shine a light on some things that maybe we don't want to shine light on. The fact that
Mhm.
we're eating our feelings late at night, we're under fueling throughout the day, or whatever it might be.
You may not be tracking your butter. You may not be tracking your creamer. You may not be tracking your oils because people, for some reason, think that those things don't have calories, but everything does.
Do you
Okay?
remember Erica Marvin came on our podcast?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Talking about the ranch.
yeah, how much ranch she was not tracking, and she didn't think it was that much, but it was like, I don't remember exactly, but it was like 5
like
to
it was like
1,000 calories or something
That's what
like
I'm saying,
that.
like around 500 calories, I think, to it. Yeah, it was really high up
Her
there.
ranch, unlike her salads.
Yeah, that shit adds up.
Yeah, enough is enough right there to take you out of calorie deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Because you should only, like most people, being a calorie deficit of 500 calories a day, that's going to give you a pound a week of weight loss. So if you're not seeing because ranch, that's a fat source. That's one of those most common things that we don't see accurately logged or tracked or even people have awareness of. It's the fact that, are they drinking coffee in the morning, or are they having a little bit of coffee with their creamer?
Right.
That's what it's true. I mean, you could easily have a couple hundred calories of just half and half and creamer alone in your coffee and not even realizing it.
And that's the thing. You're not realizing it. You're not aware.
Mm-hmm.
You have to become aware.
The first step of change is awareness.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot change something if you're not aware that it needs to be changed.
Right.
And that is why tracking, logging, creating this mindfulness, creating these barriers is so fucking important. You got to take yourself off that autopilot and be real and honest with yourself.
Yeah, and don't get mad at someone for actually asking you to be more aware, and you're like, well, you're coming to me or Matt with like, this is not working, and we're giving you all these questions and scenarios, and then you get upset. That's on you. That's not you taking responsibility. That's not you being honest. Maybe you're just not ready. I don't know. But you're creating friction with people that want to help you, and that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Mm-mm.
And they're only keeping themselves stuck, and that's the reality. Is like, you continuing to do these things that's not working and getting you the same results, that doesn't impact us. Like, it's your life.
I could still sleep at night. If you can sleep at night knowing that you're fucking lying to yourself, go for it. But I can sleep at night knowing that I'm not lying to myself. So,
yes,
whatever floats your boat.
Whatever floats your boat. And tracking too, like, we're obviously advocates of tracking. Tracking calories, tracking food logs, but it doesn't just need to be calories, right? We can track we can track our habits. We can track our behaviors. We can track our steps. You're tracking all kinds of things for sure. But that's why we track things like our body weight, right? That's a very common one. But I think one other thing that people really overlook outside of body weight is body measurements. Like I don't see
Yeah,
it
and photos.
in photos too, right? Taking it a whole
Oh,
nother level
yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
You
Measurements
know,
and photos do way more for you seeing change than the scale.
mhm. Exactly. Exactly. I had
Mhm.
a client that I've been working with for a couple months now on mindful eating. She just did an in-body scan, like Orange
Ugh.
Theory Fitness, and she does those right fairly regularly. And so what's really cool is she hasn't seen a lot of weight loss on the scale, but you know what
Mhm.
she has seen in her latest in-body scan? Muscle
Muscle.
mass has increased,
See?
body fat has gone down,
Mhm.
body weight has barely moved, maybe a pound or two.
Yep.
But she's gained more than a couple of pounds of muscle, and she's lost more than a couple of pounds of body fat. So that's why
Mhm.
we need to track these things too, like
Yes,
track
so
your body
important.
measurements and track your pictures,
Yeah,
your sleep.
absolutely.
I'm sure you track water with clients. I don't know if you're tracking your own
Mhm.
water. I don't need to track
I'm
water,
supposed
but
to be drinking a fucking gallon of water a day, Matt, and it's not easy. I'm
yeah,
slacking. I'm slacking on the water. I'm not consistent with the water, you guys, okay? But I'm doing my
nerdle, you better
best.
pump that up, especially with it warming up outside. Pump it
Mhm.
up.
I know. I gotta be better at it.
Yeah,
Trying, but
water
yeah,
is one of
that's
those
the one
things
thing.
too. Especially on a weight loss, I should stop saying weight loss, especially when we're trying to lose fat. Water is really, really important for hunger regulation.
Mhm.
A lot of the times
Mhm.
when you think you need a snack or you're hungry or something, you're really just a thirsty bitch.
Yeah, exactly. That's when I go to my emotional support fucking beverage
Yeah, I
corner.
love that. Your emotional support drink corner. And I
Yeah.
love it because I know exactly where it is and all the drinks
You
that you
know?
have there and everything. So
It makes that part of the day fun for me because it's a really and I think it's hard for everyone that is in a fat loss phase, that 3 to 5 o'clock before dinner. You can
yes.
get pretty hungry, and I think that's when a lot of people tend to overconsume. They're cooking their dinner and they're snacking on their dinner, and it's just they come home from
Or they're
work
in
and
the
they're
car, they're
snacking.
commuting.
Yeah, and I think for me, I'm just like, "Oh, what kind of beverage can I have today that's 0 calorie? What sounds fun?" And it's exciting, it's something for me to look forward to, and it gets me away from thinking about food.
Mhm.
So I
Exactly.
just ma
Yeah.
right, get a little pretty glass, ice, and choose my favorite fucking 0 calorie drink, and it
Mhm.
helps me, like, get through to dinner.
It does.
Yeah.
It provides that satiety. It's you enjoy it, and
Yeah.
the main thing, the biggest thing with nutrition, especially when we're on a fat loss phase, is enjoying what you're eating and drinking. And
Mhm.
that's what pisses me off when people say don't drink diet soda to lose weight. You know, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, why are you going to take away all joy in somebody's life? They're not going to
Yeah.
stick with their plan, dude.
Right?
They're
Seriously.
not.
It's also good for if you're a recovering alcoholic to have that, like, happy hour time with your emotional support beverage,
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
if you
Sure.
struggle that in that aspect too.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that.
Mhm.
Let's talk maybe about some common mistakes from tracking and logging, perhaps. What do you
Oh, I
think?
love that. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
I think the biggest one, and when I'm asking somebody if they're tracking their calories, it's like, yeah, I'm
Mhm.
tracking calories. It's like, okay, cool. How often are you tracking? Right? No,
Mm.
I'm not tracking the weekends. So that's the big one. Another big one is they're not actually weighing their food. If they're tracking their calories but not weighing their food,
You're
it's
not tracking calories.
right. That you're creating a food journal essentially is what you're doing. And a food
Yeah,
journal is great.
yes.
I mean, food journal is great for a lot of reasons, for raising
Mhm.
awareness to our behaviors and habits for sure.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to over consume calories if you're not tracking and seeing how much are in there, especially with things like those oils and those butters, right? Those
Peanut
fat
butter,
sources.
Matt's favorite source of fat, peanut butter.
Definitely my favorite source of fat.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, how can
Uh-huh.
you not love peanut butter, right?
My fat source, not a protein source, but a fat
Right?
source.
You made a video about that the other day.
I did. I caught some flack on Facebook.
Did
Imagine that.
you?
For a post that I made. I said one of my favorite ways to get more protein and fiber into my diet is by having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I explained exactly how I make it. I say instead of the regular bread, I use a high protein, high fiber bread like Doughjoy,
Yeah.
which we fucking love.
Yeah.
Shout out to Doughjoy. And
Yeah.
I said instead of using jelly, use get some fruit, smash it up. Now it's gonna be more nutritious. It's gonna be lower calories.
Mhm.
It's gonna be more fiber. And then I'm like, instead, and have it with a glass of milk. Don't use like regular 2% or skim milk like I see a lot of people doing because they're trying to save
Mhm.
calories. Have
Yeah.
the whole milk. Have like the
With all the
Fairlife milk.
protein.
Yeah. My peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, Beth, have like 48 grams of fucking protein.
Fucking
Granted,
insane.
there's about 500 or 600 calories in that peanut butter and jelly sandwich and glass of milk, but I mean, that's for me, that's a good trade.
Yeah. And also,
Especially,
that's going to keep you full for a while.
it does. It does. I either start my day with that. I start my day with that if I'm
Mhm.
going to be going on a run, or I usually end my night
Yeah.
with it.
Good pre-fuel.
It is. And what I've really found, and this is why it works so well for me, is
Hmm.
I'm a guy that I love my treats at nighttime. So instead of going for ice cream and shit like that at the end of the night, I have my peanut butter jelly and a big ass glass of
Mhm.
milk. So much more
Spot.
nutritious and getting me closer to my goals and
Yeah.
fueling my body and satisfying me rather than
Mhm.
having some ice cream and or whatever it might be.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah.
so
Did
yeah,
it take you a little bit to experiment? And 'cause I think people need to understand that it takes a little bit to experiment and find things that work for you, like meals.
yeah.
And like that peanut butter with raspberry thing is something that you discovered, I
Mhm.
think, like when you were training, right? And it's
Yeah,
been fueling you, and it like works well for you.
it does.
And that's what people need to do, like, find, like, a meal that, like, gives you energy, satiates you, hits all the boxes, and that you know you can repeat it. Like, for
Mhm.
me right now is oatmeal with peanut butter and a side of yogurt with berries.
Mhm.
That has been a game changer. For some reason, I forgot to make my overnight oats, okay? And I had to pivot, bitch. And I'm like, "What the fuck am I gonna do?" And
Uh-huh.
so I'm like, "I'll just make the overnight oats separate." So everything that's in my overnight oats was like the yogurt and the berries, put it in a separate bowl, and then did the oatmeal. For some reason, that separating of it has been more satisfying to me. I don't know what it is, and giving me
Mhm.
more energy than
Okay.
just the overnight oats. Makes no sense.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just because it's so different.
yeah,
It could just
maybe.
be that it's different, something slightly new. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but
because it's the same food, right?
same food,
Yeah, just prepared a little
same
bit
food,
differently.
prepare different. Yeah,
Yeah, so you were forced to experiment in a way.
I
You were forced
was,
to pivot.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna keep it this way. Actually, fuck overnight oats.
Yeah, there you go. See? See? Yeah, because that's the
You
thing too,
know?
especially when we're talking about foundational foods and repeat meals. We're humans. Like, we get bored and burn out on the same thing a lot of times too. So now you're keeping
Yeah.
it fresh and keeping it, exciting for yourself.
Yeah, and repeat meals, they could be the same, like, idea of a meal,
Yes.
right? With maybe a different veggie or a different protein source, but the base of the meal is always the same.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of having a repeat meal with a different ingredient.
Yeah, for sure. Can I give you a couple examples of how I've been
Yeah,
doing that recently?
yeah.
So last week, Friday night, Sarah and I, we grilled out. So we did some
Mhm,
chicken. We had 5 pounds of chicken. We did half of it was barbecue and half of it was just with seasoning. We used chicken thighs, chicken breast, and some wings.
mhm.
So that I love to eat leftovers. I'll eat all the leftovers, and that's one thing Sarah loves about me. He's like, I don't ever have to worry about our food
Right.
because you're gonna fucking eat everything in the fridge.
I know, I love leftovers.
Same, because it's so simple. Um, but I ate that all weekend, and then what I was doing then, I went home on my own, and I came back after a couple of days, and she had made, like, some baked spaghetti. So she had some baked spaghetti, she had a big pan of that left over, and there was still some chicken left over. So what I did, I made myself some little chicken parmesan leftovers by using the chicken that we had grilled,
Mhm.
throwing it in with the baked spaghetti, and I had another kick-ass meal like that.
Yum.
So, like, no effort. These foods were already prepared because we just cooked more
Right.
of them than we normally do, and it was so easy for me to make these meals. And I did that
Mhm.
again the next day with, pork chops. We did pork chops on the grill, had some leftover pork chops. I did more
Yeah.
baked spaghetti and pork chops. It was so fucking good.
That's awesome. Yeah, make more of your dinner so you can eat more for a few days, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Especially like a protein source. If you have a That's usually the hardest part about a meal
Right.
is the
Yeah.
protein. So
Cook more.
just cook more of it. Just pre just prep your protein source ahead of time.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do it once a week, do it twice a week. Do it Sunday and Wednesday too, that way
Yeah,
you don't have to have the same thing for fucking 5 days in a row.
exactly.
Mhm. Especially because
All
food starts
right.
getting weird after a certain amount of time, so
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
mhm, mhm.
Mhm. Okay, so other tracking mistakes.
Yes.
Adding
So,
calories back from exercise.
yeah, we hit that one, but
We
that
went
is
that we went over that, but that's another one, you guys. Unsync your watch, your Fitbit, whatever. Do not add calories back, okay? Just no questions asked.
mhm. I wanna just add on to that too. You can monitor calories burned from exercise as, like, a metric, right?
Mhm.
Just like with any metric, because it's gonna be consistently inaccurate at least. So but it's nothing that you should really be using to make decisions off of,
Yeah.
right? But it's still like if your watch is showing it to you, cool. Like I did the same workout, but I burned more calories or something. Well, why is that? It
Yeah.
helps you get curious or something, But
Yeah.
in terms of making data decisions, like that shouldn't really be having any part of
Right.
that equation.
Yep. Oh, I think a lot of people don't know how to weigh things and then track them. Because I'm always
Okay.
getting,
Yes.
you weigh everything and track it how it comes or how it's made, right? So if it comes frozen, you weigh it frozen. If it
Hmm.
comes raw, you weigh it raw. If it comes dry, you weigh it dry. But also,
Yes.
you can weigh these things cooked as well. You just need to input it as cooked because they do have cooked rice, right?
Correct.
Cooked pasta.
Correct.
But so you have
And be
to,
consistent with the form of measurement that you're using. If you're gonna weigh it
right.
raw, always weigh it raw. Don't go from
Yeah,
raw to cooked, raw to cooked.
right. Because the key is the consistency part with the tracking.
Yes. Absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely. I like that one, especially, and that's really important for things like oatmeal and rice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they absorb what they're being cooked in.
Yep.
So if you and you look at it, the nutrition label is going to tell you if it's raw or cooked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nutrition label for oatmeal is going to say X amount of grams, half a cup uncooked
Mm-hmm.
is a serving. That's how
Yeah.
you should be weighing it. And it's so
Mm-hmm.
easy to let's talk about how can we accurately weigh like something like oatmeal or overnight oats, Beth? Since you're crushing it
I
right now.
what I what I do because I make single servings is at night I'll put or in the morning for my overnight. I'm not combining the two. In the morning for my regular oatmeal, I just put the small pan on top of the scale. And
Mhm.
then I put the dry oats in there and then I put I cook with Fairlife and so I measure that out and then I cook it. So I already put it on the scale and then measure
So
it
as
and
you're
then cook.
preparing it, it
I'm
shouldn't really be
leaving
this big thing.
like my overnight oats, the one container goes on there and everything is measured as it goes in. Like you don't even
Yep.
have to take anything off and
So
you just tear it out to zero
tear it
every
out.
time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Put your bowl or plate on, tear it out,
Mhm.
zero it out. Put your
Yep.
oatmeal in. Okay, I got 40 grams of oatmeal. Zero it out. Now I'm putting my milk in. Okay, 40 grams of milk. Zero it out.
Yep.
And
Whatever else you wanna
that's
add.
really it. Just build it as
That's
you're
it.
going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't try to do it after the fact and be like, how much did I use?
Oh god,
That's where you're
yeah.
fucking yourself up, right?
You are.
That's where a lot of people are
It's
fucking
super
themselves
simple
up.
just to weigh as you go and then cook.
Now, here's the opposite side of this. If we're cooking for a family, like this is one thing I hear often, and I'm sure
Mhm.
you do too, is
Uh-huh.
how do I track my meals that I'm making for my family? I made a big dish of pasta for my family. How do I track that?
So what you would need to do first actually is put your pot or whatever you're using to cook, let's say pasta, and then you're gonna weigh out how many servings that you're cooking. Like let's say you're cooking a whole box and there's 7 servings in a box. So you put the whole box, in the thing in the water, you measure it, then you put it back after it's cooked on the scale and you divide that number by 7.
However
So
many servings you made, right?
however, it's usually just honestly
Simple math.
2 ounces of dry is 4 ounces of cooked pasta.
Yeah, it doubles it.
It
It
literally
doubles.
doubles. So that's what I do is I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna give myself 4 ounces of cooked because I know by now because I've done it so many times. And that's the key. If you keep doing it, you already know and it's not gonna be a pain in the ass for you.
Yeah, it's a skill like anything else.
Cook that whole box of pasta and have leftovers and use that as ingredient prep.
Hmm. For sure, for
And
sure.
same thing with rice, cook how many servings of dry rice you want and then measure it after and divide it with how many servings that you actually used.
Hmm. Hmm. And same concept applies for like the whole meal, right? Like if you're doing like spaghetti, you're gonna do that with the sauce. You're gonna do that with the meat, whatever ingredients you're using, and then you're just gonna divide it by
Mhm.
by
Yeah.
however many servings you're getting out of it.
Same thing. Suppose you cooked spaghetti sauce and you have meatballs. Okay.
Hmm.
You're going to put your plate on the scale. You're going to zero it out. You're going to put your pasta on. Okay. You got 4 ounces of cooked pasta. Okay. Great. Zero it out. Then you're going to put on top, you're going to put your tomato sauce, however much you want. Great. Zero it out. And then you're going to put the meat on there and you're going to measure that. Right. So that's
Boom.
all it's the same thing. You
Yeah.
just have a meal. You don't have to fucking act all crazy about it. You just put your plate and you measure each ingredient
Hmm.
with how
Yeah.
much you want.
It's really not that complicated, and that's one of
Yeah.
those things that we do tend to overcomplicate.
But I do have to say that making multi-ingredient meals, if you're in a fat loss phase, can be a little bit tricky. And I don't recommend it in the beginning. Now, I could honestly, I probably wouldn't right now either. because you know what? I like to keep it so simple that I do not want to have to like I want to reduce the friction,
Okay.
and I'd rather just eat simple single ingredient meals. But that's just me. You could do a crock pot meal, but just measure everything as it goes in, make a recipe for
I think
it,
crockpot meals are super easy to do, honestly, to
you
track.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. I mean, the more ingredients, you have more moving pieces, so there's more
Yeah.
more margin of error for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
I like
sure.
that. Reduce the friction. Where can you reduce the friction?
Yeah, if it's something is really you're noticing you're getting stressed about something, okay, is it worth doing?
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, really, is it worth you taking the time to get super frustrated and you almost quitting because of it? Well, maybe you don't need to do that right now. Maybe you're just not ready, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Being honest with yourself about it, if you're
Yeah.
ready for it. Yeah.
Don't be like, oh, I just don't know how to track. Tracking's so hard. It's like, well, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to
Mhm.
make fucking like a chili? Like, let's not work on that. Let's not do a chili right now.
Yeah, especially in weight loss, fat loss, it's the simpler the better. I agree. Single ingredient meals, things that are just really easy for you to throw onto a scale and get the data and move on with your day.
At least in the beginning, at least in
Mhm.
the beginning. And that's why people get so frustrated with tracking when they first start is because they try to do those things. They haven't graduated from kindergarten yet,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes, I agree. I agree. Another mistake I would like to throw in here is tracking 2 out of 3 meals a day. We track our breakfast, we
Oh,
track our lunch, but we don't track our dinner.
that's a
With our
common one.
dinner's our fun meal. Dinner's our family time. Dinner's the ones where we go out to eat, things like
Mhm.
that. But that one meal, do that a couple times a week even,
Yeah. It
that
happened, guys. You can't
yes,
pretend it didn't.
it happened. Yes. Like, again, going back to being honest with yourself. It
What gets
happened.
measured gets managed.
Yes. And here's the thing about acting like these things aren't happening. We're not tracking our meals just because we don't know how when we're going out to eat or because we know we overate. All
Mhm.
you're doing is creating an avoidance cycle. You're
Right.
keeping yourself stuck in this fucking cycle of guilt,
Yeah.
shame, and regret. But if you go out and do the thing, you have the meal regardless and you still track it, that
Yeah.
allows you to actually take control back and gives you power.
Mhm.
It allows you to
Yeah.
break that cycle.
And then you can look back because, you're going to have food amnesia at the end of the month or in a couple of weeks. You're going to be like, I just don't understand why I'm not seeing any progress.
Ooh.
Right.
You didn't think about
And
those untracked meals.
you didn't think about those untracked meals. And now, if I was your coach, I would be like, let me see your food log. Right. And you have nothing to look back on because you didn't track a bunch of stuff.
Mhm,
And therefore, where's the data? It's like, okay, well,
mhm.
there probably how many times did you go out this month because all these dinners are blank?
Yeah, right.
You got to put two and two together.
Yes. So that's and I mentioned this client last week about how I challenged her to track everything through the weekend, and she did that this
Oh,
last
right.
weekend.
Yeah.
And she's seeing great results, and she was really happy with the end result at the end of the week or at the end of the weekend. But she went out to eat and she tracked the best that she could when she was out, and for some she thought she made a mistake or like she still overate or something. And I looked at her log. I'm like, dude, you only went over your calories by like 150.
Mhm.
So we tend to catastrophize too. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
went out to eat or I didn't have this meal that I couldn't track and I just fucked it up. I overdid it. When in reality, if you actually tracked it, maybe it's not as bad as you thought it was.
Right. Yeah, that too.
That's the one of the good things. I mean, a lot of good things about tracking, but it helps you to just be real with yourself
Become
and
aware. I think
stop catastrophizing.
yeah.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things that's good about tracking is the awareness. So when you
Yeah.
start to steer away from the tracking, you're already going to know these things.
Yes.
That's part of it, and that's why you just do it because you're
Hmm.
learning at the same time.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
be successful long term and you don't want to track forever, but you need to know be aware of what you're currently taking in so you can actually become that person that is more mindful.
Right. Yeah. If the long term goal is hopefully to move on, hit your goal and get out of this phase, well, you need to do these things now and learn how to do these
It'll pay
things so
off
that
later.
it'll pay off later. Exactly. When it's time to be in maintenance, you're not going to have to stress about how do I be in maintenance? Well, you've been practicing it this whole time
Yeah.
type thing.
Yep.
Hmm. Now, with all of this in mind, can you think of any other like low hanging fruit for tracking that maybe we've missed?
Mm.
I think there's one more that comes to mind for me, and it's the patience game,
Mm.
being patient.
Mhm.
because we want results and we want them now. Even if we track for a week, right? Okay, I tracked everything all week. I didn't see results. Okay,
All
well,
week.
yeah, it takes time.
It does.
We tracked 100% this week so that we could create awareness. Now we start changing. Now we start changing our habits and our behaviors.
Yeah. See, when you're not paying attention to your health and wellness or your goals, time flies. So when you start to pay attention, it's like time's moving at a snail's pace, right?
Mhm.
Because you're actually paying attention now.
Yeah.
So you need to be patient with that.
Yep. Patience is a muscle. Got to flex it.
Mhm.
Got to flex it.
Yes.
You got to grow it.
Yep. Remember, you are not in control of the outcome, but you are in control of your actions. So keep taking
Yes.
action. Without action, you got nothing. So
And
what's the
and
point of giving up? You're not gonna fucking
exactly.
get anywhere.
I
You just,
I don't know. One thing that frustrates me more as a coach is like, oh, I wasn't seeing results, so I gave up. What is that going to accomplish?
oh my God, how's that helping you at all? So
You're just putting
you gave
yourself
up on
further
your health,
behind.
basically. Like I don't understand people that just give up on their actual health. Like things that are good for you.
Yeah.
Fuck the scale for a minute, right? But what
Right.
about the things that are good for you, like you're walking and you're eating your vegetables and you're eating more fiber and you're drinking more water and it's like all those
All
things
things
that
that
are
are
good
going to
for you,
improve
like,
your health and quality of life.
and that is important. You should not stop doing those things, even if you're fucking getting pissed off at the scale. You're an adult, like act like one,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
I agree.
take care of yourself.
Yeah. My energy's better. I'm stronger. I'm sleeping better, but the scale's not
Mhm.
moving, and I'm so frustrated. I
I'm just
fucking
gonna
quit.
fucking treat
I'm just
myself
gonna
like
binge.
shit, binge on all the food, drink all the alcohol, and fucking sleep for
What's
like
the
10
point?
days. I mean, come on.
What's the point if the scale's not moving?
What's the
It's it,
point?
it comes back to that bigger identity shift that we've been talking about recently,
Mhm.
right? Becoming a new person,
Yeah.
changing the way you think, changing your thoughts,
Is
the
the
whole mindset.
person that you want to become going to act like that?
Right.
Probably not.
Is the person you want to become gonna quit when you get frustrated?
Hmm.
Right. Well, that person's never going to reach their goal then. If you want to become that person, then continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah. I don't know what annoys me more is people that completely just whine, and I can't stand whiners when it comes to like your fat loss and stuff. And you're just completely just like, oh, I just want to quit. Oh, this is so hard. Oh, and
Nobody's
it's
making
like
them lose fat.
I don't know what to tell you. Like the whining and it's just the negative attitude is the problem. Like flip that fucking script. Stop
Hmm.
being so negative about it and
Yeah.
make it positive. That's only going to benefit you when you just come at it like Uggs and act like a fucking baby bitch. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah. Totally. Totally. Reframing it. Reframing it.
Uh
Um,
huh.
I just saw I popped into our client group chat right before this, and I saw one of my clients posted a cool little mindset shift, and this is something we've been talking about inside of our program is body image and
Yeah.
like the way
Uh
we
huh.
talk to ourselves and think to ourselves. She's like, I caught myself working out, and at first I caught myself looking at my stomach, and I was started to like criticize my stomach, but then I saw my legs and my thighs, and I was like, ooh, I can see like my muscles coming in, and I like the way my
Hmm.
legs and my thighs and everything are looking. I like the way my butt looks. So
Reframe.
she reframed, yeah, a little reframe there, and that it's as simple
Mhm.
as that. I know it's not as simple as that in terms of changing these thought patterns, but you have to be intentional with it, and you have to be willing to call yourself out on them.
Yes. Be willing to call yourself out. That's a good one, Matt.
Yeah,
That is a good
thank
one.
you.
I love that. I mean, I did that to myself yesterday
We have to.
because I was being a little baby bitch and I called myself out. I was like,
Because us as coaches, we
you
can call
know,
our yeah. We'll call our clients out and we'll raise awareness to the things we need to, but at the end of the day,
Mhm.
we don't know everything. Only,
Right.
they have to be willing to hold themselves accountable, and
Yeah.
people can't be with a coach forever either. So they've got to
Hmm.
start working on these things now
Yeah.
and being honest and holding themselves accountable and
Exactly.
recognizing like, am I being truthful about this? Am I being
Hmm.
real with myself?
Right.
One thing I like to do is I think we talked about this with Renee last week, that inner voice. That inner
Hmm.
voice, that negative inner voice that we have.
Yes. Yep.
And this one thing I ask my clients is like, whose voice are you hearing this in? And it's usually like, oh, it's mine, right? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, let's give that voice a name
Yeah.
now.
Right. Yeah. What'd you name yours? Fucking Carl or
Fucking
some shit?
Carl.
Oh yeah, I was right. I remembered.
Yep.
Fucking Carl.
Going back to the old
Oh,
keto Carl days.
that's right. Oh man.
Negative fucking Nancy, whatever you want to call it.
Negative Nancy. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Baby back bitch, whatever. Good one.
Huh.
I love that
Uh,
thing.
baby bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
You know,
what it is. Baby bitch. Yeah.
baby back bitch.
Baby back bitch.
You got back bitch.
Baby back ribs. I'm
Baby
thinking
back
about ribs
ribs that
apparently.
you are. That's funny.
Uh-huh. I liked what you said when we were texting before this too, kind of brainstorming the importance of all this stuff heading into summer and just needing to be able to pivot to kind of just
Hmm.
wrap this stuff all up here.
Yeah.
We're talking about tracking and being truthful and giving yourself be tracking 100%. That's also to recognize like sometimes we're gonna have to fucking pivot. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to track accurately, and that's why we want to do the best we can for them and do something for the most part and still control some type of those variables, right? Because
Yeah.
once we start controlling what we can control, that's when we start seeing the results. We want the results
Hmm.
to come and they'll come,
Yeah.
but you don't get to control when they come and how they come, right?
Hmm.
You can control how
Exactly.
you get there.
Yep. Yep.
Good takeaway.
Absolutely.
Dude, we've
Can't
been
believe
at
it's
this for an hour.
fucking. That's great.
I know.
We fucking crush. No,
This is a fun episode.
it is totally.
This is a fun
Yeah.
episode.
Super fun.
Um, real quick. Let's see. Did you get your new cured shipment with our goodies for the month? New stock of
Oh
Serenity gummies and
yeah,
flow
of
gummies and
course.
everything.
Yeah, those lifesavers.
Yeah, I've
My
really been.
Serenity gummies are I Flow and Serenity are probably the best things. Honestly, I love them.
Mm-hmm. Me
I love.
too. And I'm going to call myself out. I haven't really been drinking, not call myself out, but I've drastically reduced the amount of coffee that I'm drinking.
Mhm.
Fucking crazy. Like I don't even start my morning with coffees anymore. I've just been challenging myself for that.
Yeah.
I haven't had a single coffee here yet today. What I am doing is I'm getting my daily walk in first thing in the morning. Now I'm getting back to that, and then I'm then ending my showers with a cold shower, and
Uh-huh.
I'm starting my day with my Serenity gummies too.
Nice.
Yeah, and then, of course, my flow gummies for my workouts and my runs and
Yeah.
things like that,
Yep.
which
Yeah.
are always a game changer for me.
That's funny because the other day it was 8 o'clock and I was about to take Johnny to school and I was like, oh my God, I haven't had a fucking coffee this morning. It was fucking bizarre. I'm like, I was just like, got up and was just doing all kinds of shit. Did not even make a coffee, which is out of crazy, but I didn't feel like I needed it.
Yeah. What do you contribute that to? I know for me
I
personally.
don't know. Like,
Yeah,
I was just moving around. I
yeah,
got up, I got dressed. I'm like, I need to make a video before 7. And so I came in my office. Not even it just usually like the coffee thing is automatic for me. And for some reason that morning I was like, wow, Beth, it's 8. You're gonna take Johnny to school and you haven't made coffee. That's weird.
that's cool, right?
Yeah, it is cool. I'm
So
like,
now
okay, you don't
coffee
need
for
it.
me is like, something I just enjoy, like, on the weekend, that's what I've been doing, like
I
Saturday
like
and Sunday
enjoy the
mornings.
taste, honestly. I think it's the
Yes,
ritual of the morning and going outside right now and you know, but
totally.
it's probably something I don't really need,
Yeah.
honestly.
For me, the big one of the big differences is just being more intentional with getting my day started rather than going downstairs and getting my coffee and then sitting down and doing my social media stuff.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too is I've been taking a lot of time off of social media. I'm not really posting very much right now.
Mhm.
And part of that is just because I'm trying to get my own behaviors and habits into a better place. And
Yeah.
so I start my day with my walk and everything, and I'm just naturally getting the energy and the feel good chemicals and everything going anyway. So I don't really need that
Mhm.
coffee as a pick me up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing especially, and I know, some of my clients were working on, like, digital detoxes. First 30 minutes of the day, no phone. That's a big one for so many people, but that's really where if I were to continue like, if I were to do that, that's when I would just be sitting there drinking coffee and everything. So those things go hand in hand. So that's why I needed to break up with those habits, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Understandable.
For sure, and
Be more
enjoy 'em.
productive.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Totes. Um, we just released a new month of workouts and a challenge in the Patreon.
Yeah, we're doing a step challenge this month. I figured, you know what? Summer's arriving. It's nice out. It's time. We haven't done a step challenge in a while.
Yeah,
So,
we're here to help you all get dialed in, and
yeah.
I think the Patreon, if you're looking to get dialed in, that's a really good way for you to do that with our step challenge we're doing in there.
Yep.
Workouts this month are I had fun creating this month's workouts, spiced things up a
Mhm.
little bit, and I added a new dynamic stretching routine to them as well, which was a
Nice.
request from one of our Patreon members.
Nice.
So I added that on there as well. So there's a nice little 5 or 10 minute warm up routine that people can do now in there. So
I love that. You know what
yeah,
I want to go over really quickly because I think we
yeah,
get asked this a lot in the Patreon is what is a superset, Matt?
okay,
When
Okay.
you program a superset, I think a lot of people can benefit from this answer,
Mhm.
question answer,
Yes.
because it's SS, right? They're like, what is
Yeah, I have it on
SS?
there as SS. Yeah.
Superset. And what is a superset, Matt?
So superset is you're doing 2, maybe even 3, but the way we program them is it's 2 exercises back to back with no rest.
Yep.
And when you're doing a superset too, you're not going to be doing the same muscle group either. Most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, you're going to be doing different muscle groups. Like you're going to be
Yep.
doing maybe your chest, and you're going to be doing your back or something like that, back to back with no rest, and then taking your rest after you complete those 2 sets.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing recently. Like today I did like bicep curls, or no, it was a close grip overhead press, and
Hmm.
then bicep curls, and then
Hmm.
go to the elliptical. So that was my superset. It's like
Yeah.
you go one to the other, and then you rest till your next round.
And there's a good couple of reasons why we do supersets as well.
Time.
Time is one of the biggest ones to save amount of time, right?
Yeah.
Think about
Yep.
it. If you had done those 3 exercises and took a 90-second rest, that's 10 minutes that was just kind of not wasted, but that you spent resting and waiting and things like that. Where as
Hmm.
you combine them, you were able to save time. So supersets are really good for when you're trying to save time and be efficient. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things with our workouts in the Patreon is like we try to get you in and out within 45 minutes to 60 minutes.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very, very friendly for that, for time
Hmm.
standpoint.
Absolutely.
And it can keep the intensity up for you as well,
Yep.
right? Because you are going to be pushing yourself.
And the reason why they're opposing body parts is because you don't want to do the same thing after you just tired a specific muscle group, right?
Right,
Because
because
if you
hopefully you're
were,
pushing
you would
yourself.
have been resting.
Yeah. So you're just replacing a rest by doing a different body part, essentially.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
And hopefully, if you're working out the way that we want you to and we're trying to teach you to, you're pushing yourself really hard on these sets.
Hmm.
So you're not going to be going from a chest press to a different variation of a chest press as a superset or something like that.
No, right.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and check out our Patreon if you're needing some support with workouts. There's home and workout.
$5 a month for workouts and challenges, and $10 a month for our recipes added to the workouts and challenges. Super worth it, you guys.
Exactly. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun doing these for the last 3+ years now.
Yeah.
So,
And we're doing our meet and greet in San Diego,
yeah, we didn't
July
talk about
12th, 8 a.m. at Torrey Pines.
Got it.
Matt's going to finish it off.
No, am I? Torrey Pine. Let's see. I don't know.
Torrey
Lo-
Pines
lo-
something. I always get that part wrong.
I'm looking it up right now. Torrey Pine State Natural Reserve, July 12th.
All right.
Yes.
Awesome.
You can RSVP with the link in the show notes, and we'll be posting it, of course, again on our stories and
Yeah.
stuff throughout the next
Yep.
month. So
Yeah.
come hike with
Excited for
us.
that. Come hike with us. We have a big group.
We do. Looking forward to it.
Yep.
Hell yeah. All right. This is a
Hell
great episode.
yeah. I
Crushed
know.
it.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have an amazing Friday, and let us know what you think of the podcast.
Yes, please do.
DM us.
Bye.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed this episode, so why not share with a friend who needs to hear it? Send us a DM on Instagram or email us at cutthecrappod@gmail.com and join our Patreon at patreon.com/cutthecrappodcast. As always, we appreciate you and thanks for being here.